outbreak at Furniture and Timber Market, Kubo, Abuja, as men of the Fire Service, National Emergency Management Agency, and construction volunteers battle to put it out. Federal High Court sitting in Abuja dismisses case of certificate forgery instituted against Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State, plus stories bordering on the national identity numbers. These and more on Panorama. I'm Najat Tijani. Men of the Fire Service, National Emergency Management Agency, and some private construction companies are still battling to put out a fire which broke out at Furniture and Timber Market, Kubo, Abuja. The fire was said to have started at about 7 in the morning at a particular stall, and frantic efforts by the watchmen in the market to contain it was not successful as the fire spread to other stalls and shops. Eyewitness reports suggest that many power generating sets in almost all the stores and shops complicated the matter as they kept exploding and spreading the fire. The fact that the furniture and timber are also highly flammable did not help matters, as at the time of filing this report, the firefighters are said to be succeeding in containing the fire. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has dismissed the case of certificate forgery instituted against Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State. Justice Ahmed Mohammed, in his judgment, held that the plaintiffs failed to come up with credible evidence to prove forgery allegations against him. Austin Anyebe reports.
The All Progressive Congress had approached the Federal High Court to seek the disqualification of Godwin Obaseki from the September 19th election on allegation of false information given to INEC, informs EC9. Specifically, the plaintiffs alleged that he presented false and forged certificates from University of Ibadan and that he did not fill the column for primary school certificate, inform EC9. Giving judgment on the evidence placed before the court by the plaintiffs and the defense teams, the court held that the burden of proof was on the plaintiffs who alleged forgery. The court held that throughout the proceedings, no credible evidence was adduced to establish a case of forgery against the defendant. Justice Ahmed Mohammed maintained that the court expected the plaintiffs through their witnesses to verify from University of Ibadan, where the governor was alleged to have forged the certificate from, but no attempt was made to do so, as allegations of forgery is criminal and requires full proof of evidence beyond reasonable doubt. The presiding judge, however, agreed with the evidence given by the defense witnesses, particularly the Deputy Registrar Legal from University of Ibadan, who identified the degree certificate in classical studies acquired from the university in 1979. He described his evidence as direct, as it closed the matter and thereby dismissed the case in its entirety.
We are quite happy and elated, and we hope that this will put to rest this issue of certificate saga that is resuscitated every electoral cycle. Because it's been on 2016, they did the same thing. Anytime Obaseki raises his head to contest an election, they raise up the issue of certificates.
Efforts to speak with the counsel to the plaintiffs proved abortive. From the Federal High Court of Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
The National Command and Control Center of the Nigerian Police Force, known as C4I, is embracing the use of cutting-edge technology in the fight against crime and criminality. Correspondent Francis Form reports that the center recently unveiled a free emergency call alert app for citizens during emergency situations in any part of the country. The report.
This is the two-story building inaugurated by President Muhammadu Buhari in December 2019 to house the Nigeria Police Force National Command and Control Center. And this is what goes on inside. Convergence of command, control, communications, computer and intelligence. It is all about using technology to transmit information. Operations in this center is real-time as live feeds are processed through the body and inbuilt mobile cameras installed on patrol vehicles linked to the control room for prompt action.
Because from here we can look and the trend of events and engage what we call predictive policing. We can analyze data and predict future trends and plan effectively.
Also, the application recently developed by the center can activate and request the presence of this personnel while in distress.
And from this command and control center, we can manage all manners of emergencies, crime incidents, and all forms of disasters, including both natural and man-made disasters.
The center's operations are linked to the 36 state police commands and the FCT, just as it also monitors the activities of criminal elements on social media handles for necessary action. In Abuja, Francis from NTA News.
The Kano-Maiduguri Section 1 project is receiving attention with 66% progress as part of the ongoing assessment to ensure quality and timely completion of construction and repairs of all roads across the country. The inspection team from the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing also gave pass mark to the construction work of the Kano Western Bypass. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
It is exactly 14 years when Kano-Maiduguri Section 1 dual carriageway was conceived, with a completion period of 4 years. Inadequate cash flow and security challenges resulted in several extensions of the project despite efforts by the successive administrations. From 2015 to date, the Section 1 to 5 of the entire project have received government attention through Skook Intervention Scheme. Bridges, interchanges, and other concrete works have been carried out to reduce the congestion at Wudil Town, while Gaya to Shwarin is going steadily.
I was angry, vividly angry with this contractor over this because last year's Sukuk they could not access because of low performance, but you could see that they are back on track. We really had a rough time with them, and they are determined now to complete the job.
The team also inspected the 26.6 kilometer Kano Western Bypass with 56% completion.
The government is doing well regarding funding the project. The last 3 years, Sukuk 1 to 3 this year, funding has been adequate, and we would like that to continue. As long as that is going on, we would like to speed up the work and make sure that we do this job between the nearest possible time.
The road projects, when completed, will ease traffic flow and enhance economic activities not only for northwestern states but for West African countries. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwal, has extolled Governor Wike for delivering on his promises and providing good governance to the people. Governor Tambuwal spoke at the inauguration of the reconstructed Forces Avenue, Olumini and Ali Streets at the old government residential area of Port Harcourt. Ogedi Nyekwiri reports.
Constructed Forces Avenue, Olumini and Harley Streets are part of the urban renewal program of the Rivers State government. The roads are previously not more than 6.5 meters and 7 meters wide, without drainages and street lights as well as walkways. But with the reconstruction of the Forces Avenue, Olumini and Harley Streets, the roads are now dual carriageway with a width of 15.3 and 15.3 meters respectively, and built with drainages. Governor Wike says the Rivers State government will continue to improve the living condition of the people through the provision of massive infrastructure.
You need more roads. More roads will come to you. Because I want my state, I want the capital of the city to look like other capitals in the world.
Governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwal, and the national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Prince Uche Secondus, extolled the leadership qualities of Governor Wike, whom they said has continued to justify the confidence reposed in him through the provision of good governance.
We are all doing our best to deliver on our promises and to provide good governance.
You are one of the shining lights and leader of our party because your good works speaks for itself.
They joined Rivers people to continue to support him. In Port Harcourt, Ogedi Nyekwiri, NTA News.
Similarly, the federal government public works project has been flagged off in more states. Ogidi reports.
Labour Minister Chris Ngige, laboring for the good of the youths in Anambra State. It is the flagging off of the Special Public Works Program. 1,000 youths from the 21 local government areas equipped with the needed tools to keep public infrastructure and environment clean.
We want to use this as a stopgap measure to absorb the teeming army of unemployed youths.
Instead of staying at home, doing nothing, at least with this, I'll be able to go out. Nobody will say I'm gossiping at home.
As the senior minister goes to clean the drainages in Anambra State, the junior minister Festus Keyamo goes to farm in Delta, all in demonstration of the Public Works Program. But keeping the women busy to feed the homes occupies the minister's heart.
I always beg my state selection people, I always beg the state directors of NTA, please give women more slots. I beg now. The women will manage this money more than the men.
Properly kitted against COVID-19, 27,000 beneficiaries of the program welcomed the Minister of Water Resources, Suleiman Adamu, to commence the exercise in Jigawa State.
The emergence of the novel COVID-19 pandemic, the President, the Commander-in-Chief, President Muhammadu Buhari, directed the Economic Sustainability Committee under the chairmanship of the Vice President, Professor Ide Osinbajo, to cut economic measures to cushion the adverse socio-economic effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
The unprecedented social intervention programs in this country is so remarkable, so big, that we have not seen the time.
In Kwara State, with about $1 billion set for the program, the selection process was reportedly all-encompassing because women, youths, and the physically challenged made a list.
More, because with the little I'm going to end, I will add it to my...
The Christian of Nigeria for its center project, Emmanuel Akila reports.
Sounds of joy that come along with Christmas and New Year celebrations, despite the COVID-19 pandemic and other challenges that characterize the year 2020. Besides the donation of 25 million naira in support of Khan Center project, Governor Mahmoud Ino Yahya assured of sustainable sponsorship of Christians in the state to perform the yearly pilgrimage to Israel, appreciating the Christian community for their praise and support to the government, believing that good governance calls for equity and justice to all.
I saw that I would lead the people with fairness, justice, and equity. And I believe I'm doing my best in order to actualize this. And that is why we go to all the widths and lengths of Gombe State in order to take development.
To the Christian community, the season is that of sharing, spreading the messages of love, as well as obedience to constituted authority.
Our Christian brethren are excited that they have come close to the governor in the government house. They are prayed to express their wishes and also to present before the government requests of the Christian community.
The regular homage by Christians to the government featured special prayers for the country to overcome security challenges and the second wave of the COVID-19 pandemic in Gombe. Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
We'll take a commercial break now, and Panorama will continue with Chinenye in.
Thank you so much, Naja Atu, for joining us in Enugu. The surge in cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria in the last quarter of 2020, combined with the emergence of more contagious diseases, poses a challenge to most Nigerians. Kelechi Ochiara, in this special report, takes a look at the response of residents in the state to the second wave of coronavirus.
The challenges occasioned by COVID-19 was a big task for the public health system, government and Nigerians, especially in the area of curtailing the surge in public places. Though one of the striking characteristics of the first wave of the pandemic in the third world countries like Nigeria was lower mortality and morbidity rates when compared to other parts of the world. Notwithstanding, while the second wave is apparently spreading at a record pace across the world, it becomes pertinent that precautionary measures, as recommended by the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, such as physical distancing, wearing a face mask, regular washing of hands, should not be taken for granted. As part of NTA social responsibility, a crew went round some public places in the metropolis to ascertain the level of compliance of the NCDC COVID-19 protocols in this second wave. According to findings, about 98% of the population are not abiding by the guidelines.
Man, I don't believe that there is coronavirus. I don't believe there is coronavirus. And if you ask me, I would say there is no coronavirus in Nigeria.
I didn't believe that COVID-19 is existing. These cases are rising up. Someone can have malaria today and go for hospital and die from malaria, but you can still write in COVID-19 case. It doesn't make sense. And someone, even my friend I know, went for checkup. They write it on COVID-19 on top of that name, on top of that checkup list. But they doesn't have anything.
Others are of the opinion that it is the responsibility of the government to protect its citizenry.
Our government is supposed to, provide everything, all our needs for us to, to be more secured. But, this COVID-19 of a thing is something that is very bad.
It's duty of the government to provide it to the citizen. So you cannot blame me why I do not wear it.
I feel so uncomfortable with it. As the second wave of the pandemic spreads, it is expected that all hands should be on deck to fight the scourge of the deadly disease. In Enugu, Kelechi Ochiara, NTA News.
And that report forms our background for discussion today. And with me in the studio to speak more on this is a public health expert, Dr. Chikezie Obasi. Doctor, you are welcome to Panorama.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much. Okay, Doc, it is a confirmed status that Nigeria is in a second wave of COVID-19 pandemic. Why are we experiencing this second wave?
From the clip you just showed, some people do not believe that COVID-19 is real. So many of us actually have watered down on our guards. Those things we learned during the first wave. We've actually not been able to practice it, like putting on face mask, the one I'm just putting on now, or washing hands and maintaining social distance. You could actually see that we relaxed our guards, and then we're having the second wave.
Okay. So how would you describe this attitude of people to...
It's difficulty in our people believing it's actually a difficult one, because if you look at the countries that actually had the second wave, many of them started when the schools resumed. The students in the college actually mingled, they were not putting on face masks, they were not maintaining social distance, and then they had a rise in this COVID-19. Now we're having the same thing. You know that changing of behavior, the new normal, which is maintain social distance, wash regularly, put on face mask, actually is a new normal. And it requires a lot of attitudinal change. And it's not easy for people to just come to that. And then again, like the first person said that he does not believe that's COVID-19. Actually, the way so many of our leaders, politicians, models of the society are behaving does not really show that COVID-19 should be taken seriously. Situation whereby you see our politicians, our celebrities going for occasions, not maintaining social distance, not putting on face masks in our churches and various places, and nobody's actually reprimanding them. Actually does not really show good that COVID-19 is true. So if we must really get to the bottom of this, we must see our people, especially those that we're looking up to in the society, to actually do much more than they are actually doing now. They should actually lead by example. Many of us, the health professionals, the celebrities, that thank God that many of them are coming up now to speak, the ones that actually had gone to isolation center. Good thing that are speaking. We urge a lot of people to come up to speak. Those of them that are in political space that are leading us, they should equally speak up if you have COVID-19. Speak up and then demonstrate the fact that this is actually around us, so that people would actually believe you and then key into the program. Okay,
the government has done so much in the areas of sensitization. What can they do differently this time?
Sensitization is not enough. Just saying they've done much, because if you say they've done much, they won't do anything. So they continue sensitization. But one thing I think they should do is to enforce some rules. A little punishment could actually bring some sanity to us. If you begin to see that at buses, at churches, you have your law enforcement agents that they must not allow people to get into those areas unless they are putting on their face mask. And then reprimand some people for doing that. Okay. I think that would be better for us.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Let's leave it here for now. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I'll be speaking with Dr. Chikezie Obasi, a public health expert. We will now rejoin Najatu in Abuja for more on Panorama. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Enugu, for that discussion on COVID-19 guidelines. We'll now take sports update with Gift George.